Hey, idiot! Is that character design just not working for you? Looking for a cool new challenge to test your design skills? Well, today is your lucky day, my friend, because you have been chosen for an official character redesign, brought to you in part by viewers like you. Take your design knowledge to the next step by creating a new and improved reference sheet featuring new action poses, a 360 turnaround, and a newfound sense of creative inspiration. Get ready as we delve into this exciting new Radically Max video, where we'll take everyone's favorite robot, RM7, and give them the epic and rad makeover they've been waiting for. So, grab that stylus and pencil and put down that phone, because the fun begins now, only on the Radically Maxed channel.
Radically Maxed channel. What?
Lately, I've been feeling a shift, a change in the wind, if you will, with my art, with the constant bombardment of AI slop being force-fed on my feed. I now appreciate the art process way more than I ever did before. I've learned to take my time, just enjoy the process, enjoying creating some art for me every once in a while, and I'm even a little less critical of myself. Only by a little. And so I wanted to apply this new creative energy to something that would signify and represent this growth and stuff. And what better way of showing character development than with a whole character redesign? Yes! Yes! I've been wanting to give good old Rad, this bucket of bulk, a makeover for a while now, but I didn't really know how to go about it. No designs were really speaking to me, but it wasn't until this year, turned 25, started growing out my hair, and sparks of inspiration really began to appear, and I began to feel inspired. So I'm going to take you guys with me through my process of redesigning them. I treated this as if it were a legit character design assignment, from reference, inspiration collecting, to making a 360 turnaround, which I've never done before, but that will become abundantly obvious later in this video. But overall, this was so much fun to work on, and I'm really excited to show you guys the process. Big disclaimer, this is not meant to be any professional advice or a guide when it comes to industry standard character design. I am very much using my limited industry experience and what I've learned from college, just everything that I know to do this. So I'm still learning, but if this video is at all helpful in some way and inspires you, then hell yeah, brother, rock on, that's sick. But without further ado, let's just dive right into it. A wise doctor once said, "To understand a part, we must first understand the whole." Yes, it can be super fun and awesome to just think of your new design right there on the spot, but this is a redesign. We want to make sure that this looks as good as possible and that it resonates with us, right? So during this process, or at least this stage of the process, I took this time to just gather anything that I was inspired by, what inspired his initial design, and just put it all together and see what could, spark a flame, what would get the gears going. This absolute fruit by the foot of a reference board that I ended up with is what really helped guide me along the design process of Rad when I was brainstorming. Anything that I felt that would capture the vibe of cutesy retrofuturism, but humanoid robot, that's what all this was for me. And Captain Janeway as well, because I love her. My first order of business was redesigning that robotic body, yada yada. And I liked the initial body design that I made a bit ago, but I just feel like he looks like a Meet the Robinsons version of Ratchet from Robots or something. So my main goal in this part of the brainstorming process was thinking of ways to mechanicalize the other design while also trying to preserve, aspects that I do enjoy, which is the colors, and I really enjoy the head design, that's probably like the one part that I wanted to preserve the most, because I really enjoyed the initial head design. It's very easy to draw and it's very simple. So I wanted to just take that simplicity and give it more bulk and give it more of a tactile robotic feel. At first, when I started sketching out like just body designs, I was going for like an Osamu Tezuka blend of body proportions of semi-realistic, like, you know, head, shoulders, whatever, but then having like chunky hands and feet. But the more I just sketched ideas out, the more it just felt really, really weird. So that I switched gears like midway through brainstorming, and I just decided to like take the original and then draw like ball and socket joints over it and then mechanicalize it that way, which I found to be a much easier method because I was able to visualize what I wanted to keep and what I wanted to change. But finally, after much erasing, redoing, and Control-Zing, I finally settled on a full body design, which I feel like I said that a whole lot during this entire section. I finally settled on a design that I felt very happy with. But I forgot to click record on OBS, so here's the quick little time lapse of that. And now, without further ado, everyone please put your hands together for the new and improved RM7 version 2. But where are they? But how? They're supposed to be here. How could a fake character run late for their own presentation? Oh, and now the lights are dimming. Awesome, great, sick. Oh, now it's too bright. What is this? Oh my god. Hello? What the fuck is this? This wasn't in the plans. This wasn't even in the budget. Whoa. What is happening? Whoa. Yummers. What? Turn it off. Turn it off. Turn it off. We do not have the license for this. Turn it off. As I was saying, the new and improved RM7. You know, as far as upgrades go, this isn't that bad, and I'm really happy that I was able to achieve what I set out to do. Just take the original and make it much more robotic and mechanical. And it's cool looking at the other design because when I drew it at that time, I was really proud of it. It really resonated with me, but you know, I think it's cool to see this Pokemon evolution going on here. But we aren't done just yet. Now that we have our updated full body design, now we can get to my favorite part of this project, and we can start redesigning the new outfit.
Oh, if you're looking for clothes, you've come to the right place. Let's get started before my headache gets any worse. I'll do the designing. Hold on.
Maddie, why did they need clothes if they're already a robot?
Shut up. It's because it looks cool. Initially, I was going to follow the same sort of trend of my other two characters, Hikari and Kenji, and give Rad a cool new suit. But then while scrolling through Pinterest, I saw this amazingly beautiful jumpsuit, and I knew instantly what to do. It was like a bolt of lightning. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to recover the full reference board for this part of the project, so you'll just kind of have to see it during bits of the time lapse, but it's pretty much just a whole lot of like vintage ski jackets from like the 80s and 90s, things like that. Also, shout out to this really awesome picture of Woody Harrelson and Julie Andrews. It didn't really do much in terms of inspiration, but it was just funny to look at while working on this. And I love, you know, these kind of jumpsuits. They're campy, the colors are over the top and so expressive. And I don't know, it just perfectly fit the vibe of what I was going for. And also, what just added to the bonfire of inspiration was my partner introduced me to Star Trek Voyager, and we've been watching it together. And I love this show. I love the uniform design. It also was brilliant visual reference and aid for how to like tailor and fit this jumpsuit onto RM7's, robotic body. Am I using this section of the video to gush about Star Trek Voyager? Yeah, but also, this is my endorsement to Gyro C in a jumpsuit. After some color theory alchemy and brain power adjusting my values, I was finally able to settle on a color palette for the tracksuit that I really resonated with and that I really enjoyed. I still think I'll draw them in their original outfit because I think this is also just super cute, very chill, very basic, but it's nice to have options. Fortnite, if you're watching, I'm open to collaborate. Just kidding, maybe, I don't know. Mwah. Kiss on your Epic Games forehead. Thank you for watching. Now hold on, all of that was just the appetizer of what we're really here for. It's time to pop this sucker in the microwave and give him the 360 treatment. Oh, another Fade to Black. Okay, let's see here. What is it doing? Oh, it's sparking. Now, if you were to ask me, Maddie, do I have to do a 360 turnaround every time I make a character sheet? No. However, if you are going to at least pursue character design professionally, there will come a time where that will probably be asked of you to draw a character in 360 for the animators, or if it's a 3D animation production for the sculptors. I think it's an important skill. I think it can really hone your character consistency skills, and it can really help give your design and your character just a bit more depth and dimension, make them feel more tangible. Well, my other piece of this advice is, if you are going to do this,
start small
and work your way up. Don't be like me, and your first 360 turnaround is a character that looks like this. Oh man. Now, I am exaggerating a little bit at how difficult this part of the process was. It was mainly a test of endurance more than anything, just because it felt like math, or it felt like plotting points on a map and constantly having to change something and, look back at details that have changed now and realize that change then has to result in another change of something that you thought you already finished, and it was a whole lot of back and forth. And I found myself really just oftentimes setting my stylus down and just like putting my head in my hands and just going like, one aspect about this stage that was a bit more tedious than the others was the pen that I was using. I'm using a much more clean lined with no pen pressure settings on it instead of my usual one, because sometimes I feel like my inking, it is clean, but it could be just cleaner. So I wanted to use this whole project to kind of refine that a little bit. So especially for this stage, I was constantly hyperfixating on any lines that look too chunky, cluttered, messy, any little specks here and there. I wanted this to just be as clean as possible, and also still maintain my very naturally sketchy art style. So it was quite a juggling act to do, but I think this stage really helped me kind of know how to use the tools that I was using, and I could feel my line art abilities just gradually improving, and I found myself spending less time erasing, redrawing, and just trusting my lines, drawing them once, and feeling confident in them. Thankfully though, it didn't test my patience too much. I've played Marvel Rivals games that have gotten me to rage quit more than this.
Like all of their deep down.
So once I found a workflow that I was comfortable with and I was able to lock in, it was smooth sailing from there. So I think this would be a really great little section to show how do I study clothing folds from photo reference. I mentioned earlier many times in this video that I was inspired by the Star Trek Voyager jumpsuits, but I was also inspired by everyone's favorite alien killing baddie, Ripley.
It's using the air shafts. Will you listen to me, Parker? Shut up!
I really love her jumpsuit. At first, I was trying to go for something more of that aesthetic, but I kind of was like leaning more towards like the bright colors of the Star Trek uniform, but I still really like the just rugged, laid back vibes of Ripley's outfit. So that's when I had the idea to just combine the two, mainly kind of using the Star Trek Voyager jumpsuit as a base, and then having the Nostromo jumpsuit as any other stuff that I needed help with. So especially for the back of the jumpsuit, the Star Trek Voyager outfits have this really awesome sort of like cinched back, like, I don't really know how to explain it, but they have a very nice sort of cinched back design that it kind of keeps everything together. It makes the whole jumpsuit feel like one piece, but it is clearly divided by like the top and the bottom with this sort of belt-ish sort of band around their waist that creates that cinched look right here. And so I kind of just, you know, in a separate tab that's not visible on my reference board in the speed paint, I kind of was just going back and forth between looking at Janeway's jumpsuit, Ripley's jumpsuit, back and forth, using them as jumping off points. So for like the armpits and like the shoulder pads, I used the Star Trek Voyager jumpsuits on how that would look. Or for like the knees and like the leg area, I used the Nostromo jumpsuit on how that would look, because more than anything, I wanted this to look like a jumpsuit.
Really?
I think that sometimes when drawing clothes, it's important to recognize what kind of clothing are you drawing. So obviously a flannel shirt will be different from a bubble jacket. The way they fold, like a bubble jacket will be much more squishy, a little bit thicker. It's not going to have as many like sharp edges or contour lines. But if you're wearing like a silk shirt, you're absolutely going to see all those contour lines and those folds and like those wrinkles and stuff. So that's why I love using photo reference as much as I can with drawing clothes, because I want to capture the feeling of those clothes more than anything, because I think that's what can make, you know, the art and the drawings just feel much more tangible. Which, that was a very pretentious rant, or I hope that didn't sound too artsy-fartsy, but you get what I mean. In the end, I think I was able to combine both jumpsuits into something that I really enjoy. I think I kind of ended up with more of like a Nostromo jumpsuit than like a Star Trek jumpsuit, but you know what? I'm totally okay with that. I think I captured the fun, colorful, like whimsy vibe of the Star Trek jumpsuits and kind of their cool like uniformity. But for sure, this would definitely be like a jumpsuit for like Nostromo, but if the Nostromo was a nice place to work. But now our beloved little bot can take flight in full 360 high flying action. Look at him go. Fly! Fly, my son! Oh my god! But lulz and goofs aside, I'm got a little pat on the back for myself. I was a little intimidated to do a full 360 turnaround. It was something I've never done before. I've only really done like front, back, 3/4, all that stuff. So I was, you know, I felt challenged, but in the best way possible. And I'm very proud with the final results. It's, you know, pretty consistent if you're not like me and notice tiny little details after it's finished. But you know what? That's more of a me problem. Now that we have fully memorized, we have this design down to a science, it's now time to put it to the test and put it in motion in a few fun and cool poses, put it all together for a nice little reference package or bundle or Fortnite skin pack, whatever you call it. We're making a post sheet. You guys already know what's going on. Roll the transition. What the hell is this? What? Hello, contestant. Welcome to your task is to create a character action pose while staying on model. You have 15 seconds to run your computer and get started. Failure to do this will result in death. Your time starts now. And we've now reached the final stage of the video. It is time to take everything that we've built up, redesign and learn, and put it to the test. Put this new design in motion, put it into a few cool poses, and see how it looks. Now, I say movement in big ol' air quotes because that probably insinuates I'm going to be animating this. No! I am not an animator. However, maybe someday, but that is not today. I already did this guy spinning around in the microwave. I ain't doing any more. So thankfully, this was probably the easiest part of the entire project and process, which, yeah, this is the last thing that I worked on, but I still had so much fun with this part of the project. I really kind of just was able to unplug and more so just prioritize, like, make sure the costume folds, you know, all that stuff looked good. And I was maintaining style consistency, character design consistency, all that, you know, those little things that I had mentioned earlier. This was such, like, I don't know, cathartic? I'm not sure if that's the right word, but it was nice to just watch over time this, like, one character that I feel very sentimental about, just, you know, grow up a little bit, you know, and share the same evolution that I've been feeling lately, just as I get older and my thoughts about art and my art process change and like my thoughts about my own art change, and I'm so open to change. This was such a fun project and process. It was one of those things where you just kind of have to draw or put your feelings towards something that represent how you feel. And this time, you know, it wasn't an illustration or like a comic, but it was like an entire character overhaul because I felt so, you know, different with myself that I was like, I feel like this has to be represented in some capacity. So, you know, that was another fun little nerdy art rant for you there. But I think that this is such a fun project. I would highly recommend to everybody, if you have a character that you've kind of left on the shelf for a little while and you want to revisit them, please do. It can, you know, open you up to new opportunities and maybe even try something new. And I think these days, you know, trying something new, doing something different that's not your normal, I think is so beneficial to all of us as artists and just as people. And, you know, this like whole project, I mean, I would say the biggest thing that you know, was a challenge, but, you know, was fun was the 360 turnaround. I had never done something like that before. I was kind of intimidated, and to see that it didn't turn out as bad as I thought, and I kind of enjoyed the process, was cool. And I definitely hope to do another 360 turnaround for another character in the future, maybe with something, you know, simplistic, more, you know, complex. Who knows? We'll see. But, you know, I think that this is such a fun way to cap everything off and just give this new design life and, you know, put some springs and, you know, in Rad's step, you know what I'm saying? And this project also really helped me kind of think of Rad's narrative a little bit. Granted, nothing too crazy. I'm not like, I don't think I have enough ideas to fully commit to like a comic or any sort of full-length project like that, but I did make one little comic called Prime Directive while working on this, and it really helped me a lot, I guess, sort of put my other emotions that were left behind while working on this whole redesign project. And, you know, it was so fulfilling, you know, because this project helped me figure out, you know, I guess more of the characterization of Rad as a character other than just kind of a mascot for me. And, you know, that was something that was very valuable, I would say. I feel like I struggle a lot with storytelling. I, you know, I'd like to think that I'm somewhat decent at constructing a narrative, but it's something that is kind of a muscle. You have to build it up. You have to soak in new inspiration and get fresh ideas and, you know, just go with your gut and all that. You know, this project helped me follow that inspiration into finishing the comic. So I thought that was another cool side effect that this project had on me, was that my narrative abilities, or at least my confidence in constructing a narrative out of nothing, improved a little bit, and it was really cool. And just like that, everyone, we've reached the end. We have done it. We've answered the call of the artistic void, and we have done what we set out to do. We have completely redesigned, overhauled. We overhauled. Fuck. We done did the damn thing. That's what we did. And I think it turned out pretty dang good, but I'm allowed to say that because it's my video.
Yes, you're very smart. Shut up.
Learned a whole lot, tried something new, really just fulfilled that itch in my artistic spirit, and, you know, I feel all the better for it. You know, I came out on the other side, I feel like a better artist. But now that it's said and done, I can finally change out of this stupid flesh homunculus PNG tuber. Woo!
Transform!
Smells like a new car in here. Feels good to be back in the good old circuitry again. Shoot, but you know what? I'm sorry, guys. I can't stick around to do the video outro. I gotta go hang out with Ripley and Captain Jamer right now. I promised that I would hang out with them and do some coffee. So, I'll catch you guys later. Bye! Wow. Jeez. Nice.
Present day. Present time.
Basically, what we're gonna do is dance.